So please keep on revising the notes side by side, because in last class I took a test of FM class. I took a test of FM class and people were not able to write answers on the correct line. So everyone is advised to revise these things. So how many of you have started reading newspaper? Any news you want to discuss, you want to tell to the classmates? So who will start today's discussion? What you have read in newspaper or in current affairs? Quickly. Kiranpreet Kaur, Kirti Sharma, Mansha. Have you started reading newspaper? Mohini, Muskan, Mehak, anyone? Any volunteers?
सर गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग रेहाइका।
सर मैंने पढ़ी थी न्यूज़ अबाउट द रीओपनिंग ऑफ स्कूल्स इन सम स्टेट्स।
Okay, related to corona.
यस सर।
Anything related to GST collection?
नो सर।
Yes, sir. The crossed 1.5 crore something in October. ऐसे कुछ आर्टिकल है ना सर?
1 lakh crore actually.
Yes, sir.
So actually there was some calculation made
सर
while
February से कैलकुलेशन होती आ रही है।
नहीं होती आ रही तो पहले से ही है, जब से जीएसटी स्टार्ट हुआ था।
हाँ।
बट अभी जो लास्ट मतलब अभी जो डेटा आया लास्ट मंथ का, अक्टूबर का, तो उसका कलेक्शन 1 लाख से अबव है। सो दिस इज सिग्निफिकेंट इन टू मैनर. द फर्स्ट वन इज दैट इज 10% हायर देन द GST collection of October 2019. So year on year growth is 10%, and after a long time since Corona, that government has been able to collect so much of GST. So these are the two reasons that such a huge collection is good news for everyone. But maybe in ideal situation it should be more than 1.2 lakh crores, बिकॉज जब 2017-16 में जीएसटी की बात हुई थी तब काफ़ी हाई कलेक्शन एंटिसिपेट कर रहे थे, मगर उतना हो नहीं रहा था काफ़ी सालों से, और देन कोरोना के बाद लॉकडाउन से और कम हो गया था। तो अभी एक मिनिमम बेंचमार्क, एक फील गुड वाला फैक्टर होता है ना, जब एक लैख थाउजेंड्स में बात कर रहे हो आपकी अभी 80,000 कलेक्ट हुआ, 90,000, देन 1 लाख, सीधा 6 डिजिट करोड़ में बात हो रही है। तो एक वो साइकोलॉजिकल फैक्टर भी अटैच हो जाता है। सो इट इज़ अ गुड न्यूज़ फॉर इकोनॉमी मोर और लेस। Psychology plays actually a very important role in industry. आप कहाँ हो, कहाँ नहीं हो, वो सब भी यूजलेस हो जाता है अगर सेंटिमेंट्स जो साइकोलॉजी है दूसरे लोगों की वो आपके फेवर में हो या आपके अगेंस्ट में हो, स्पेशली व्हेन फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स आर कंसर्न। तो अगर इकोनॉमी परफॉर्म भी नहीं कर रही बट साइकोलॉजी ऐसी है इन्वेस्टर्स की, यस देयर विल बी अ बूम, तो भी इनफ्लो, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज इनफ्लो हो जाता है। So today's topic is related to psychology only. So our next topic is contribution of industrial psychology. Contribution of industrial psychology. So when psychology as a discipline or psychology as a tool, it is applied to the industry, applied to the business organization, we can say that then it is called industrial psychology. Now what is psychology? Anyone? Just having any vague idea what
हेलो
psych?
सर।
Yes, Muskan.
सर साइकोलॉजी को हम ऐसे डिफाइन कर सकते हैं कि ये एक फॉर्मली साइंस होती है जो कि हमारे मेंटल एक्सपीरियंसेस, बिहेवियर्स और एक्सपीरियंसेस को मतलब इन सब चीज़ों को मेंटेन करती है।
Yes, correct. So broadly speaking, it deals with minds. It deals with mental things of people. How the mind of employee will perceive a particular thing. So it deals with brain, mind, the sentiments. So when psychology is used for any industrial purpose, any that may be business or any other, if you suppose your organization is a hospital or a school, then there also you can apply psychology to know about how the employees are feeling, what they want, what they are lacking. So that also means that you are tapping, that you are exploring the industrial psychology. So this field is rather new, although its origin is in around 1900s. But constantly with the development of psychoanalysis and more progress in statistics, so this field is getting developing. And now with the uh, big data science, with modern technology, so this field will grow at exponential pace now, because now we have more tools to gather data, to gather feedback from employees, to monitor the change in behavior. Then we have better tools to measure, to convert that thing into quantitative data, and then to analyze that data. What are the changes, how much are the changes, and after that we can find some solution if there is any problem, and we can improve our already existing methods of motivation. We can find some better ways to decide salary or wages. So in this way, industrial psychology is getting more important, especially in this century. Now in HRM, see, we are dealing with humans, and psychology is dealing with mental aspect. So in a way, we can say that under industrial psychology, we are concerned with application of information about human behavior, that is mental reaction to the various problems of human life. So, industrial psychology has turned into a professional aspect of the psychology. So, this was a broad introduction to give you the meaning of the term industrial psychology. And industrial, I think you can know the meaning of you know the meaning of industrial, that uh, any social life where multiple people come together and work something with goods, some do work on raw material to produce some goods or to provide some services. So that is industry. You have education industry and like that manufacturing industry. So when now here we are attaching psychology with industry, so that we can know how our workforce can do better, what steps we can take uh, to improve the morale, to boost the morale of our employees. So write down the definition. Industrial psychology is defined as industrial psychology is defined as the study of people as individuals and in groups. Industrial psychology is defined as the study of people as individuals and in groups. Study of people as individuals and in groups, and of the relationship between individuals and groups. So here we are studying two things. Uh, First of all, individual. So how particular individual is reacting to any policy change, reacting to any order from the superior. Then studying them as a group. Let's say how the junior management is reacting to policies formulated by top management. So here junior management is treated as a group. So the basis of treating them as a group, because they would have to do the same thing, more or less their education qualification and experience would be same, and their reaction to the order would also be same, because they all have equal authority, equal responsibility, they have same resources at their disposal, they have to make almost similar efforts to achieve the target. So they are termed as a group, they are considered as a group. Now the second thing here which which we are studying is the relationship, that in between the individuals how they are reacting and between the groups how they are reacting. So let's say that there is a factory and there are 5 workers on a particular machine. So they are manufacturing something and the machine requires 5 workers simultaneously. So now the foreman gives the order, whoever the authority, that person gives the order that you have to manufacture 300 pieces. Now since all the 5 persons have to work in coordination, so the reaction of one individual, that would have repercussion on the uh, reaction of other people also, because if someone is not doing work properly, then all of them would not be able to achieve the target. So in this manner we are studying the inter-individual behavior. Now here how the relationship between groups is possible, that the machine requires a particular manner in which the workers have to work, otherwise there will be a malfunction and there might be short circuit, or there might be failure of machine, there might be failure of conveyor belt, or there might be extra wastage of raw material. So that will affect the work of other people also, those who are working on other machines. Suppose due to carelessness of one group, the conveyor belt gets broken. So now the other people, they won't be able to get the raw material. So this uh, breaking of conveyor belt, it will also affect the working of other peoples also. So industrial psychology is a study. It is more of a researcher's work. So when we talk about industrial psychology, always remember that the person in center who is uh, trying to understand the industrial psychology, he has some potential of researcher, or she is a researcher actually. So this was industrial psychology. Any doubt, anyone? Now talking about history of industrial psychology. So as I mentioned earlier also, that it has emerged around 1900 1910. So it was more often conducted in western countries, and it was limited to work and time studies. You might have studied in 11th or 12th class F.W. Taylor, and there was one more person, I'm forgetting his name. So it was conducted in that form. But after 1930s, the real sorry, my voice today, I'm facing some issues with health. So for from 1930s, this psychology thing, industrial psychology, it emerged as a separate discipline, as a separate area of interest for industrialists, for researchers. And after that, major developments and all the expansions, so that have taken place after 1930s. And in that also the primary development that took in Western Europe and United States, America. So during 1940s and 50s, the interest in human relations was gathering pace. It was given due importance by business owners, governments also, because till 1940s and 50s there had been two world wars. There had been twice instances where the world order was shuffled in a very drastic manner. So for maintenance of army or for maintenance of arms and ammunition, government also had interest in human relations aspect. And since army, we can relate army with leadership, supervision and execution. So government was also quite interested in uh, looking into the psychology of the employees, which may be soldiers in army or workers in manufacturing ammunition. So after that, after so wait a second. So after 1950s and 60s, industrial psychology that gathered more pace because now researches were conducted in newly independent countries also. So it gathered a new market also. Market in the sense that you have now more cultures, more new areas where research can be applied, can be made. And this thing turned into organizational psychology, where the main focus is how would you motivate the employee, human motivation. And more efforts were made to understand the effect of a particular step, how job satisfaction can be increased, how productivity can be increased, work effectiveness can be increased. And after that, in after 1990s, with the internet and more machines, supercomputers, the analysis of data is more convenient. It is getting easier. So it developed drastically after 1990. So I think this is under major transformation now also, because now we have work from home, which is rampant. So now we have more tools to uh, to measure the effectiveness of a particular order from a senior, uh, because now we can record the time a particular employee is spending doing a particular work, because what the companies do, they provide you a separate laptop for doing work, and in that laptop everything gets recorded, at what time employee turned on the system, how many how many hours she worked. And even some companies have uh, made this thing in the system that if you don't use the laptop, if you don't move the cursor for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, then the screen gets off and then gives a signal or sends a message to the database center, and it says that this particular employee has gone away from the laptop. So in that manner, we have now more tools to measure the working ability or interest of an employee in working. So till now we have written definition of industrial psychology. So under that definition, write another paragraph. Uh, the main aim of the main aim of industrial psychology is research and employee administration, and employee administration is application of such research. Employee administration is application of such research. It studies the it studies the various methods of various methods of performing manual operations. For least waste for least waste of efforts and material through human engineering. So now put next heading, history of industrial psychology.
सर एक बारी मटेरियल के आगे रिपीट कर दो.
Efforts and material, इससे आगे
Yes sir.
efforts and material through human engineering.
Thank you sir.
Next topic is history of industrial psychology. The field of industrial psychology. You can write industrial psychology as IP from now onwards. The field of industrial psychology has developed largely since 1900 since 1900. By 1930s, by 1930s, it had been established as a distinct phase of psychology. So from now onwards, it emerged as a separate field of study. The primary development took place in Western Europe and USA. Next paragraph. During 1940s and 50s, considerable interest was generated in human relations aspects of personnel management, comma, with particular concern for group interaction, supervision, and leadership processes. Next paragraph. Next major phase began from 1990 with coming of computers and internet. Abhiha, why are not you writing? अभी आप क्यों नहीं लिख रहे हैं? अगर ऐसे ही क्लास में बैठकर ओके, आई एम अज्यूमिंग इट इज़ द ट्रूथ, अदरवाइज दिख तो नहीं रहा था वीडियो में एज इफ यू आर टाइपिंग समथिंग। ओके, सो वेयर वर वी with the oncoming of computers? Can you repeat, Sanjana, what was the last line? Sanjana or Revaika, can you repeat the last line?
Sir, with coming of computers and internet.
So next phase was since 1900 with the incoming of computers and internet. All right. So after that, now now data collection and transfer was easier than before, which helped researchers to conclude new solutions. So our next topic is now foundations of industrial psychology. That what is the reason behind this discipline? What are the finding factors behind industrial psychology? What is the need to study industrial psychology? So these are three. First is economic, then social, and then third psychological. So economic foundation. So as you know, the early research was done by businesses or the organizations which had some profit motive, which had some motive to get ahead of some other competitors. So that was the economic criteria for business to get maximum production at minimum cost so that their profit can be maximum, and the nations that their army perform better than other armies so that they can win the wars. So during before that thing, the human factor was paid very little attention. The businessmen, they tried to achieve this by investing in machines only, by improving machines only. The human factor was not given due importance. But after some studies of F.W. Taylor, that some time studies, method studies, so importance was given to human factor also, so that the economic requirements of business of organization can be achieved more in an optimum manner. The second one is social factor, social foundation. Now with the evolution and development of trade union movement and group activities after 1950s, because now freedom and liberty was asserted as one of the human rights with the incoming of emergence of United Nations. These things got a push. So now the employers they were uh, assigned more responsibility towards the welfare of employees. How? First of all, International Labour Organization ILO set up some standards, some benchmarks, some minimum requirements which should be provided by employer to the employee, like minimum number, a maximum number of working hours, minimum number of holidays, minimum wages. Second thing, since the many countries got freedom, so the new government, the local governments, they were more uh, care caring for their people. They made laws which help the common worker. So, like for in case of India, India got freedom in 1947. Then we got Minimum Wages Act, Factories Act. Factories Act was also already there, but more employee friendly provisions were added. So in 1948 we got Minimum Wages Act, and so on. After that we have psychological foundation, because now the competition was higher than before. So the relation between employers and employee was more important now. No one would want conflict between employer and employee. Otherwise, it would lead to a loss. Your competitors will get ahead of you. So, so you can note down this topic now. Heading you have noted foundations of industrial psychology. First point is economic foundation. Under this, write down main objective of every management. Main objective of every management is maximum production at minimum cost to earn higher profits. Earlier, management was concerned only with machines, but now human factor human factor was also getting importance. If the workers do not work willingly, the economic aim of getting the best results from minimum efforts cannot be achieved. Next point is social foundation. The social industrial development, such as trade union movement,
Sir, can you please repeat?
the social industrial development, such as trade union movement, group activities, has played important role in development of industrial psychology. After 1950s, after 1950s, employees got awakened, employees got awakened to their rights, full stop. Group studies were carried out to understand the group behavior, full stop. The main aim of IP became not only not only to achieve maximum production, but also to provide more facilities to workers. Last point is psychological foundation. Industrial psychology contributes industrial psychology contributes to a large extent in improving the industrial relations
सर एक्सटेंट के बाद क्या है?
to a large extent in improving the industrial relations and to avoid the conflict between employers and employees. So, a mixture of economic, social, and psychological factors, it they all contributed to development of industrial psychology. More researches were being conducted. Now, the reason behind researches may be economic reasons or social reasons, may be due to psychological reasons. So this led to emergence or development of industrial psychology. Now next topic is objectives of industrial psychology. So first of all, the the basic reason why we are studying HRM is same for industrial psychology, that is proper man at proper place, right man at right job. So with the help of industrial psychology, we have uh, invented some tests, some new methods of interviews, some psychological tests to measure the intelligence, aptitude, skills, interest, so that we can easily recognize that if a particular person is suitable for a particular job or not. And if when the person is selected, then how much of work that person can do. So the quantum of work should be that it should not be less that the employee becomes a burden, a liability for the organization, and it should not be too much that the employee goes under fatigue, employees break down, because it may increase labor turnover in long term. More and more employees start leaving their job. Then by conducting different studies and tests, we can find new methods to minimize the wastage of raw material, how to get something done in a particular manner. And so we have some more objectives. I will continue these tomorrow. So for today this was this. Any doubt anyone? And how many of you have purchased the book?
Sir, I have 10 years of HRM work.
Okay. So people who are looking for masters, whether MCOM or MBA or any other dedicated course in HRM, there is one institute, TISS, Tata Institute for Social Science. So that provide a really good course for human resources. I don't know the detail, but if you are interested, you should check yourself. It has very good and reputed course. So if you want to pursue or you want to carry on HRM, then you should purchase this book, TN Chabdas, because it is standard book, and you are if you have to give UGC NET or some other exam, then this is standard book. Questions will come from this book. So don't get confused whether you should buy this book or not. All right, this was for this class.